Hello and welcome to another episode of Hessy and Maven. I'm Justin.
I'm Raven.
And on this week's episode, we are talking about our favorite romantic comedies.
I wore my most Valentine's-y shirt in honor of the category.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I didn't dress up.
No, but you broke out the cardigan.
I did. I'm wearing a cardigan. Sweater weather. It's the weather's finally starting to turn. Bugs are starting to die, I imagine. And it's not 90 degrees in October.
I know, I love it.
Thank goodness.
I'm looking forward to the 50s.
I
love the 50s.
Yeah, 50s, 40s, 10s. I don't even care anymore. I'm just over this hot weather.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so over it.
Yeah.
Speaking of October, we're doing a whole spoopy month.
Yeah. After today, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The next episodes that we will be recording and putting out are going to be all spoopy, Halloween themed. Mm-hmm. We're going full code orange. Mm-hmm. Be ready for that.
Very exciting.
Send us in your... Sorry, I have a weird nose itch. Send us in your favorite scary movies, spooky movies, Halloween movies.
Cozy movies?
Animated, cozy movies, fall. Yeah, It doesn't need... I think we're talking mainly about Halloween.
Yeah, but some people only watch stuff in this time, like Gilmore Girls, When Harry Met Sally, Autumn in New York, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. And we are going to be doing all kinds of episodes that are based around all types of Halloween and October-y things. So that should be exciting. Be on the lookout for that. Maybe I might try and dress up. I might dress up in costumes.
I want to wear costumes.
I might wear costumes. So be sure to check us out on YouTube, Hessy and Maven, also on TikTok and Instagram. So be sure to check us out on all of the things. If you're listening to us on podcasts, give us those 5 stars. And yeah. So this episode, like we said, is all about our favorite romantic comedies, our favorite rom coms. Mm-hmm. I like a rom com.
I love a rom com.
I know
I love
you
low
do.
Stakes, not a lot of
Low
stress.
Stakes is big.
It's like cozy, funny, haha, have a good time, sweet vibes.
Sweet vibes.
Yeah.
I think that I'm sorry, JoJo is building a little bed on my bed.
Yeah, JoJo's growing. Yeah, there were a couple movies that I looked up a lot of lists of like the best rom-coms of all time. And I did like the best rom-coms on different platforms right now, the best rom-coms of the 2000s. And there were a couple that I really liked, but that didn't make the list for a couple different reasons. Some I didn't include because I felt like they were too sad, which then I feel like they shift into romantic dramas.
Interesting.
And then there were ones that I didn't include because even though I thought they were good, they don't reach the rewatchability-ness that I need.
Yeah. You're big on that.
I'm huge on rewatchability. If I only want to watch it once and then like never again, it's not going to make my favorite list. Like, how can it be a favorite? But like one movie that I didn't include because I have talked about it before is The Princess Diaries, my all-time favorite movie of all time. That I consider a romantic comedy, and the rewatchability is off the charts. So that is like an example of Josie, stop.
I know. I was just about to be like,
Josie, stop.
Can you excuse for a second? JoJo.
Yeah.
You got your whole foot in your mouth. Okay. You're going to give your foot fungus of some sort. It's gross. Cease and desist.
So all of my movies on my list, huge rewatchability.
Yeah.
Not too sad. Good energy. Good vibes.
Yep. Good energy. Fun.
Yeah.
Heartwarming. Uplifting.
Yeah.
Overall, wanting to just be like, Hell yeah.
Yeah, and all these lists also made me realize that there's a ton of classic rom-coms that I haven't seen.
Same.
Which I made a list I would like to mention before the episode's over.
Okay.
Of all the ones I feel like I have to watch.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I also did find some trivia if you want to get into that.
I do want to get into the trivia.
Okay.
Let me do this really quickly and then boom, trivia. Boom, we get into our top fives.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I put out on our TikTok and YouTube a little clip of last week's episode where we talked about Hit and Run and Bullet Train and gave it a little review. And I put up the little part of when I was talking about, hey, we have an Instagram and a YouTube and everything, blah, blah, blah. Check us out and leave us comments because the next week's episode is about romantic comedies.
Mm-hmm.
And on TikTok, a couple of people responded, and I just want to give them a little shout out and read their responses for what their favorite rom-coms are.
Okay.
Now, use a poker face if for some reason one of these is on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Mika?
That's a tough one. Could go either way.
Mika says, Forget Paris and When Harry Met Sally.
I've never heard of Forget Paris.
Forget Paris is also with Billy Crystal.
Oh, I have seen When Harry Met Sally. Very good. Yeah, I can see why it's a cult classic.
Yeah, they said that they love Billy Crystal, and I responded with, Our dad loves City Slickers, another Billy Crystal classic.
Oh my God.
And then Mando says Sid and Nancy.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Neither have I. But it is about Sid Vicious and his girlfriend Nancy Spungen.
I have heard My Favorite Murder episode about the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's with Gary Oldman.
From Harry Potter?
Interesting. Yeah. Sirius Black. And then Daniela said The Holiday, which I know is a classic rom-com for a lot of people. Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Jack Black.
That is one I have been meaning to watch. I mean to watch it every Christmas time. I haven't made it there. But I should watch it this holiday season.
Too busy rewatching Holiday in Handcuffs?
I am too busy rewatching Holiday in Handcuffs, but I'll try to make time.
But thank you guys for responding. That was dope.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
All good suggestions.
We'll keep you in the loop when we're doing different topics and stuff like that. Is assuming we know what we're talking about. For October, I couldn't tell you what the exact next episode is, except that it's about something spoopy.
Yeah.
So just be ready for Halloween stuff that we are going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's get into trivia. You have trivia for me?
I do have trivia.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
A lot of these have 4 options. Do you want me to keep it to 3?
Keep it to 3.
Okay. Which 2 actors starred in both 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club?
Okay.
Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall. Molly Ringwald. Pull the U there. Molly Ringwald and Michael Schofling. Or Molly Ringwald and John Cryer.
I'm gonna say it's A. Molly Ringwald and Michael something Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. That is correct.
Heck yeah.
Yep. They're in both of those classic movies. I love 16 Candles.
Really?
So good.
I love Breakfast Club.
I love Molly Ringwald.
I also like Molly Ringwald. Yeah, she is good.
Okay, ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one.
Okay. Who stars in the iconic 1954 film Sabrina? Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, or Elizabeth Taylor?
Sabrina. Bum, 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 bum. I'm going to say, oh God, I don't really know. Audrey Hepburn?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know the only reason I know that is because there's an episode of Gilmore Girls.
Oh God.
There's an episode of Gilmore Girls where Emily and Richard have a stylist named Celine, a very tiny old woman named Celine.
Yes.
Who comes to their house to dress them. And Lorelai or Rory comes into the room and Celine goes, "Oh my God, she's Audrey Hepburn in Sabrina." Yeah, that's
There
why I
you
know
go.
that. Yep.
There you go.
Alongside Humphrey Bogart and William Holden.
Wow. I saw a lot of the rom-coms that made the top of some lists were all like old movies with like Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart and so and so. I was like, yep, never seen any of these.
Daddy loves Cary Grant.
I know it.
Okay. Why do Lady Bird and her first boyfriend break up in Lady Bird?
Oh, I need to see Lady Bird, Raven.
He's gay.
Okay.
She cheated on him. Or they went to different colleges.
Oh, boy. I think it's going to be because... wait, is this... It said, why did Lady Bird break up with her first boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. They went to different colleges.
The world may never know.
Oh, no. Please hold, folks.
No, he's gay.
Oh, he's gay.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. Congratulations. It gets better.
Yeah.
But darn it for me and my wrong answer.
Sad. Okay. Ready?
He's living his truth, Raven. It's nothing sad. It's actually beautiful. How dare you?
I know. It's sad for Lady Bird.
Oh, no doubt.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
What size shoe is Jody in Tall Girl?
How the fuck?
Welcome to my life. Men's 13, men's 15, or women's 15?
I will say she's a men's fifth. Wait. What was the last one?
Women's 15.
Women's 15. That's what I will say.
Men's 13. Men's size 13 Nikes is what she wears in the movie.
Men's shoe size converted to women's. I'm pretty sure you take the women's size and you subtract 1.5 or 2. So a women's 15 would be a men's 13.
Yell at BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed. Don't ask me how I know that. But I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I have one more.
Okay, one more.
What is Peter's last name in To All the Boys I've Loved Before?
Fuck you.
Calvin, Kavinsky, or Kennedy?
Peter Calvin sounds so dumb. If it's that, that's crazy. I'm going to say Kennedy.
Wrong. It's Kavinsky.
Kavinsky, really? I was like,
Peter Kavinsky. Way. That's an excellent rom-com.
Wow.
Yep.
I did see that on some lists.
Mm-hmm. I am currently getting a notification that there's a new Spy Kids movie called Spy Kids Armageddon.
If it doesn't have
that sounds intense.
Yeah, they came out with some other ones past the 3, and who cares?
We only recognize.
I'm so sorry, they're not good.
The 3.
Amen.
Yeah.
The second one's my favorite.
Have you ever seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No.
I think I saw it in the movie theater.
You did see it in movie theaters.
And we were like the only ones in there.
And me and a friend were seeing something else at the same time. Because we were like, that's a baby movie.
It was great.
That movie's for babies.
The villain was George Lopez in a giant bubble.
Yes, it was.
With like octopus arms.
Absolutely crazy.
So good.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into our top 5 romantic comedies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first, or would you like to roll for it?
I guess we can roll for it.
Rolling for it.
Do you like the little bird that I bestowed upon you?
Oh, Raven. I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Good news. You got me this little bird. Only people on YouTube will ever see this. But you got me this little bird, and it's green, and it's fat, and it's spherical, and I love it with all of my heart. I would die for this little fake bird. Now here's the bad news, though.
Okay.
As you know, I have undiagnosed ADHD.
Uh-huh.
I did break off the beak of this tiny duck, and I am devastated by it.
Well, every time I go to a thrift shop or something, I look for small ducks, so.
Yes, very good. Get me more ducks, please. I need them for my army. I'm taking over the pond.
Jesus.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Dice. Yes.
Yeah, you didn't get us a dice.
Boop.
16.
14. Dang.
I am
Two
superior.
pretty good rolls, though.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going first?
Yes.
Okay.
My number 5 is The Proposal.
Ooh. Interesting.
This was very tough. I switched my number 5 a lot.
Yeah.
To All the Boys I Loved Before was on there.
Mm-hmm.
The Crazy Stupid Love was on there. Great movies, but I remember the first time I saw The Proposal and how hard I laughed and how hard I rooted for the main couple to get together.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock and I believe Ryan Reynolds. Yep. And the character growth of both of them. And it's just so good. Excuse me. It also stars actress Mary Steenburgen, who is Aaron Bloogood's favorite actress. That's a fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. The plot, if you don't know.
Go a little further. Yeah.
The plot, if you don't know, is Margaret Tate is a Canadian executive editor-in-chief of a New York book publishing company. Due to her pushy personality, she's disliked by her employees. Margaret learns from her superior that her visa renewal application has been denied due to visa term violation, and she faces deportation back to Canada. Not wanting to lose her position and her life in New York, she blackmails her long-suffering personal assistant, Andrew, into marrying her so she can get her green card.
Yep.
She reminds Andrew that if she is deported, the work he put in as her assistant will be lost, which will set back his dream in becoming an editor. And then it's just all about their journey of pretending. It's this is a classic YA romance novel trope. The pretending to be together for the sake of one of them and then ended up falling for each other.
Yeah.
And it's also the plot of To All the Boys I Loved Before. They are a pretend couple and then they fall for each other.
It's not. This movie doesn't.
But it's so
break
good.
Any new ground.
No.
But as long as you're not going into it being oh, I want something to really blow me away with beautiful cinema and amazing story and dialogue. This isn't for critics.
I generally
this is a fun ass, such a funny movie.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I'm like Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sandra Bullock.
Oh, same. I love
Just
Sandra
like
Bullock.
Dad does. I love Sandra Bullock so much.
That was another red flag in my last relationship. He hated Sandra Bullock.
What
I should have known.
Freaking terrorist.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. I talked about the movie.
I hate that.
I talked about the movie The Heat, which is another Sandra Bullock movie that I love. And I was like, we should watch The Heat. Do you like Sandra Bullock? And he was like, I actually can't stand Sandra Bullock. And I was
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, straight to jail.
Right to jail.
Right to jail.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Betty White, R.I.P. There's a scene, one of the scenes that I laughed at the hardest when I first saw this movie was they're sleeping in the same room at his parents' house, but she's sleeping on the floor.
He's sleeping on the floor.
He's sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, she gets the bed, of course, because she's the boss.
The mom and the grandma go to come in the room, so they scramble to get on the bed together, and they try to look like they're cuddling, but it's so awkward that he ends up like this with his hand on her head, just and it's It's so funny. It's like my favorite type of comedy where it's like just little small things that are so funny. It's an excellent movie.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Betty White is so funny.
It's classic 2009. That's when the movie came out. It's so good.
Brilliant.
Yep. That's my number 5. The Proposal. I highly
recommend.
recommend.
Really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Really good one. Some would argue it should go higher than number 5, but my number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Yep. This one, if I wasn't in a very specific college class, I never would have heard of this movie. Mm-hmm. I maybe heard of it, but like never would have seen this movie, I don't think, of my own free will. It was in a LGBT literature class.
Okay.
So we got to read books that sometimes were by LGBTQ plus authors, and sometimes were just about like themes.
Okay.
And sometimes we got to watch movies. Mm-hmm. So like one time I got to watch the movie Paris is Burning, which is all about the Vogue scene of like the gay, kind of this like Venn diagram of like the gay community and the black community coming together in like New York City and stuff like that, where they would do the Vogue dancing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Yep. And it was a crazy movie, and I just remember being like, wow, amazing. And then we saw this movie. Mm-hmm. So my number 5 is Some Like It Hot.
Okay.
1959.
Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
Here is a quick synopsis. After witnessing a mafia murder, slick saxophone player Joe, played by Tony Curtis, and his long-suffering buddy Jerry, played by Jack Lemmon, improvise a quick plan to escape from Chicago with their lives. Disguising themselves as women, they join an all-female jazz band and hop a train bound for sunny Florida. While Joe pretends to be a millionaire to win the band's sexy singer, Sugar, Marilyn Monroe, Jerry finds himself pursued by a real millionaire as things heat up and the mobsters close in.
Jack Lemmon's a good name.
Jack Lemmon is a good name. It is a very fun movie. It is silly and goofy. Has a lot of funny jokes and moments and stuff like that. Like a lot of the typical somebody like, I don't know, it just has this old vibe of just the cross-dressing and him being forced in situations where he's with Marilyn Monroe as a woman and has to be like, I don't know, I think he's pretty great. Maybe you should go talk to him. And then her being like, you're right, I'll go talk to him right now. And he being like, shit, hold on. Let me go get him for you. And like quick changing and like all the dumb like slapstick kind of humor. Mm-hmm. And Marilyn Monroe is brilliant in it. I think she's so funny.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie with her all the way through.
Literally same, except for this movie.
Yeah.
But she's very funny and super cute in it. And it's just very funny, silly comedy. Meanwhile, the friend Jerry is like literally getting pursued by like a little bit of a creepy old man who like has a lot of money and is just flirting with this dude. And it's so funny. And there's a famous quote at the end of the movie. The movie has ended. The guy gets the girl. He gets Marilyn Monroe. They escape the mafia. Spoilers. And Jerry, still dressed as a woman. This is like the friend who doesn't get Marilyn Monroe.
I knew that was going to happen.
I know. Oh, God. He's on a boat.
Okay.
With the super rich millionaire guy. And he says, the rich millionaire guy's name is Osgood.
It's good.
Osgood. And he says, oh, no, you don't. Osgood, I'm going to level with you. We can't get married at all. Now, he's still dressed as a woman during this. Osgood, why not? Well, in the first place, I'm not a natural blonde. That doesn't matter. I smoke. I smoke all the time. I don't care. Well, I have a terrible past. For 3 years now, I've been living with a saxophone player. I forgive you. I can never have children. We can adopt some. But you don't understand, Osgood. Oh. And then he gives up and he pulls his wig off.
Are they in the car?
No, they're in a boat, Raven. I said that at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've seen this clip.
Yeah, probably.
Go ahead.
And he pulls his wig off and he says, I'm a man. And Osgood shrugs and goes, well, nobody's perfect.
Yep. I've definitely seen that. That's a cute scene.
And then, yeah, he just keeps smiling with indifference and the movie fades out. But it's just really funny scene. And we watched it in an LGBT class because it was kind of just about like expectations of gender.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And also that part, like the idea that Osgood is like, I like you for you. I don't care about your gender.
Yeah.
Just like, da-da-da-da. Not that you have to look at it with a deeper lens or anything. It's just a fun movie. But
yeah.
I also want to mention it has probably the highest ratings out of all of my 5 movies. Just to put it into perspective, on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic and the audience score have the same score at 94%.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
But that's my number 5.
Nice. I have heard of it, never seen it. I've definitely seen that clip at the end, though. I thought they were in a car, but I have seen it. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. My number 4 takes us to 1998 with a remake of a 1961 movie called The Parent Trap. Now,
a rom-com?
I know what you're thinking. Raven, I don't consider this to be a rom-com. I see your complaint, and I raise you with Dennis Quaid bringing Natasha Richardson into the wine cellar to talk about the wine that they used to make, and going onto the little boat and having dinner and reuniting, and they get together at the end and they like go camping and they're with Chessie and it's romance and they get together. So it's about the twins, but they conspire for this romantic story in a comedic way.
Hey,
rom-com.
I'll give you a pass on it. I'll give you a pass on it because there's going to be 1 or 2 that I'm going to need a pass on. So
it's so good. I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
And I want to bring up, I have this memory, okay, that comes up every time I watch this movie.
Okay, bring it on.
And it makes it so nostalgic and so good for me. It's maybe, I want to call it 2009, 2008, 2009. I'm in the upstairs bedroom of Daddy's house. Okay. I am painting it for probably the 20th time. It's like kind of warm spring, 70-ish outside. So I have the windows pushed open.
Okay.
The breeze coming in. Everything's covered in plastic tarp. And I have a TV hanging in the corner playing The Parent Trap. And I'm like doing my little dance to the songs. Somewhere beyond the sea. You know the song? Somewhere waiting for me. I'm doing that as I'm like rolling and the warm spring breeze is coming in through the windows.
Yep.
That's how I feel every time I watch The Parent Trap. It's like such a good, warm springtime feeling. I love the mom.
Yeah.
She's so crazy.
With her, yeah.
I want her life. Like, I always think that if I was one of the twins, I'd want to be the one with the wife in England.
Yeah.
'Cause she's like a wedding dress designer and they live in like this fancy walk up, they have a butler, like, okay, the dad lives in like Napa Valley on a winery. Like, it's still cool, but
right. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's not like wedding designer or drug dealer.
Yeah. But I just love the mom. She's so kooky when she's like stressed about going to meet the dad and she's like got sunglasses on inside smoking a cigarette, like
oh my God,
trying to get ready and her hat is crooked and she's going crazy. And I'm like, God, that's so relatable. But it's just so sweet. I love when they get together at the end. I love when they have dinner on the little boat organized by everyone and the butler is there and Chessie is there and they're like the employees like giving them dinner.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. I love The Parent Trap.
It's good.
Yep. It's such a classic. I have never seen the 1961 version and I don't care to. Sorry.
Thanks for putting that out there.
But yeah, that's my number 4.
Number 4, The Parent Trap. Interesting
1998
selection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My number 4 is one that I immediately thought of when in the beginning you were like, some of them are too sad, and therefore I don't think of them as romantic comedies. I think of them as romantic dramas.
Okay. Was it sad?
My number 4 is P.S. I Love You.
Okay. The reason I didn't include P.S. I Love You is because
It makes me cry so
violent
much.
sob in this movie. I violent sob. It's the sobbing that 5 Feet Apart gets out of me. It's like devastatingly sad. It turns around. Like, obviously, I think the movie has a happy ending for the most part.
Right.
But, oh my
And
God.
there are comedic moments.
All the scenes where she reads letters from him.
Brutal.
Forget about it. So brutal. And it's just his accent. And he's just like, I love you. I want you to be happy. And you're just sitting there in your feels with Hilary Swank, who I flipping love.
Same.
And you're just like, the love of her life is dead. And this is horrendous. And
yeah, let me get through the synopsis. P.S. I Love You came out in 2007. It's actually based on a book called the same name, P.S. I Love You, by Cecilia Ahern. Here's the synopsis of at least the movie. I can't speak for the book, never read it. But okay. When Jerry, Gerard Butler, the husband of Holly Kennedy, Hilary Swank, dies from an illness, she loses the love of her life. Knowing how hard Holly will take his death, Jerry plans ahead. Beginning on her 30th birthday, she receives the first in a series of letters written by him designed to ease her grief and encourage her to move forward to a new life. Brutal. It is brutal.
It is an incredible movie.
I love it.
I think it's so good. Gerard Butler and Hilary Swank have great chemistry. Like the scenes where they show them together, like even when they're fighting, they have good chemistry.
Yeah, I thought so too.
They're so good. Hilary Swank's friends are cute. One might be her sister, but also Lisa Kudrow. You're really rooting for them the whole time, even though you know he's dead. But like you're rooting for Hilary Swank.
Yeah. And I think her other friend is Gina Gershon.
Yes. And the acting is so good. You're in it like the whole time. I remember being like sucked in the first time I saw that movie. But it is a cry fest.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a cry fest.
It's a little risky for me to put this on. This is my riskiest pick, probably, to put this on the rom-com list.
There are funny moments.
There are funny moments.
Yeah.
If you look on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, they put it under a comedy tag. They just also put romantic and drama because it is sad, but it is still very funny. It is funny, but it is so touching and it is really intense and it is powerful. And I love the movie.
Yeah. It's so good. It's a great movie.
Fully destroyed me, I think, the first time I saw it, but yeah, still liked it. Yeah, there's a funny scene when Lisa Kudrow's character, I don't know if they're in Ireland at this point, but they're somewhere and they're at like a bar. And Ted walks by and Denise is checking out his butt. Denise being Lisa Kudrow. And she says, "Ooh, he's delicious, isn't he? I'd serve coffee on that ass." It's weird for me to even say those words. And John McCarthy, whoever that is. Says, "Do you have to be so vulgar about men? Like they're pieces of meat?" Sorry, John, I forgot you're sensitive about your flat ass. You know, Denise, that's why you're not married. Women act like men, then they complain men don't want them. Oh, is that why? Oh, okay. Because I thought it was something different. I thought that it was because I thought I deserved the best and he's out there. He's just with all the wrong women. And let me be clear, after centuries of men looking at my tits instead of my eyes and pinching my ass instead of shaking my hand, I now have the divine right to stare at a man's backside with vulgar, cheap appreciation if I want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're really clapping for her in that scene.
It's very good.
I love Lisa Kudrow. Who's the guy that there's like flirtations with at the end? Who's the actor?
Well, it's very interesting because there's a little bit of tension between Harry Connick Jr. And does she end up with, it's been so long, Raven. Does she end up with Harry Connick Jr. or does she end up with?
I don't think she ends up with anybody, but Harry Connick Jr. is like a little bit off in that movie.
Yeah, he's like her friend at the very least.
Yeah, he's her friend, but I think he's like a little like mentally handicapped. I'm not kidding.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Or he has severe autism. That's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That's the guy that I'm thinking of at the end of the movie, who is very handsome. I think he is.
Oh my god, now I have to rewatch this movie, Raven. You've really piqued my interest.
I think he is. He like has no social cues. Like
that sounds right. He definitely, he had something, but I don't think it was like autism or something.
It's something.
Probably today it would be diagnosed. But anyway.
Yeah.
Now here's the interesting thing that I found, and normally I don't really care about these scores. I just think they're interesting, just to kind of be like, oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't really put too much weight into Rotten Tomatoes score of 5.7. Like, who the hell cares? But on Rotten Tomatoes, I do like it when it does this. It has like the tomato meter, and then it has the audience score. Yeah. So it's like critics said this, but audience people said this. Right. I like those. I like at least comparing the differences sometimes. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting. So like critics did not like this movie. 25%.
I never go by what critics say.
Audience score 80%.
Yeah.
So much more.
Because critics are looking for different things.
They're looking too deeply. I was reading the some of the critic reviews, and it is just crazy. Like,
way too deep.
How intense people are talking about it. People did not like the script. They didn't like the casting. People thought that it was like just not good.
Yeah, I would hate. I never listen to what
I don't really
critics say because they're not looking what I'm looking for in a movie.
Yeah, but that's my number 4. P.S. I love you.
Very good. It's a great movie. Okay. My number 3 is Leap Year.
Wow.
Have you seen Leap Year? With Amy Adams?
I've seen it once, but like
it's
not in so long.
So good. It has Amy Adams, John Lithgow, Adam Scott, Matthew Good, who is one of my favorite actors. I think he's very handsome, and he's also the main character in the Sundance TV series called based on a book series called A Discovery of Witches, which is so underrated and so good. I watched it when quarantine first started and was obsessed. I think I got a subscription to Sundance just to watch it, and I haven't been able to figure out how to cancel it, and it's been like 4 years. But anyway, Leap Year is it's in 2010. Excellent movie. Let me try to find a quick synopsis. Okay. Anna Brady plans to travel to Dublin, Ireland to propose to her boyfriend Jeremy on February 29th, Leap Day, because according to Irish tradition, a man who receives a marriage proposal on a leap day must accept it. So I guess there's some tradition that women propose to men on a leap day in Ireland. And they must accept it. So she goes to propose to her boyfriend, who's played by Adam Scott, who is so unlikable in this movie. It like really is hard for me to watch Adam Scott in anything else because he's just the worst.
He's good at playing that.
John Lithgow is her dad, and he's like kind of a dud, but he's like cute and funny.
Kind of a dud.
And I love Matthew Good so much. And it's just so cute. Like he's like the brooding bar owner in Ireland, and he's like this like gruff, like no filter, says whatever he wants, like deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, kind of guy. And she is like very high maintenance, Louis Vuitton suitcase, like high heels, walking through the mountains type of girl. And it's like that classic story of
Joe, pick a freaking room.
You know, she just wants mommy to come home so bad. Of like a high maintenance preppy woman.
Yeah.
And low maintenance tough guy. Like falling in love, and there's like cute Irish people they meet, and there's drama, and there's tension, and there's we're in another classic trope in YA romance novels is we're going to an inn together, we're traveling together, we go to an inn, but there's only one bed.
Uh-oh.
What are we gonna do?
We tried to get 2 beds, but the innkeeper was being pushy.
Mm-hmm. There's only one bed. What are we gonna do? And in that scene, he says like,
caught in the rain.
He's like, oh, we'll flip a coin for it. Heads, I get the bed. Tails, you don't. So she like gets tricked and doesn't realize it till the next morning. It's so good. It's such a good. They fall in love. Their romance is so good. Yeah. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend.
I love a movie that is not only a good movie, like romantic, comedic, all of the check boxes that you want, but also set in a cool place. Yeah. In addition to everything else, and being like, but also Ireland looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if it was filmed there, but all the scenes that look like they're in Ireland are stunning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great one.
Beautiful. Yep. It's excellent rewatchability. We watch it any day of the week. It's so good.
I love that.
Anyway, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is an absolute classic.
Okay.
1990, Pretty Woman. Uh-oh.
This is one of my...
Try and say something negative about Julia Roberts, please, right now.
First of all, I would never. I love Julia Roberts so much.
Chop you in the throat.
I adore her.
Then why are you...
It's one of my biggest embarrassments.
You've never seen it?
That I've never seen it.
Guys.
I know.
Write in right now. Get in the comments. Tell Raven that she has to see Pretty Woman. I almost called it Power Woman.
I do.
Honestly.
I do have to see it.
It's so good.
I know.
All right, well, cover your ears while I give a synopsis.
I won't. You can't make me.
In this modern update on Cinderella, a prostitute, a sex worker, and a wealthy businessman fall hard for one another, forming an unlikely pair. While on a business trip in LA, Edward, Richard Gere, who makes a living buying and breaking up companies, picks up a sex worker, Vivian, Julia Roberts, on a lark. After Edward hires Vivian to stay with him for the weekend, the two get closer, only to discover there are significant hurdles to overcome as they try to bridge the gap between their very different worlds.
I know. I've heard from everyone and their mother that this movie is so good, and I believe them.
It's so fun. It has a great soundtrack. It's got Jason Alexander randomly. It's got the Julia Roberts in her prime, Raven. Oh my gosh. She is
so much
stunning in every freaking scene of this movie.
She is.
And the outfits are so fun. The costume design is killer. The most typical, like, it literally is a Cinderella story. It's hard to beat that analogy. Rags to riches, just like her, the most stereotypical scene of her going into the store and not being respected by the staff, and then coming back and being like, do you remember me? do you work on commission? She's like, yeah. He's like, well, big fucking mistake,
Yeah.
bitch. Like, now I'm going somewhere else, or I'm getting helped by so-and-so. And then just so many fun scenes and stuff like that. It's such a good movie.
I know. I want to see it so bad.
And like Richard Gere, is, as much as he is like a person who like, I think maybe because I was born in 1990. So by the time I got old enough to be like, I don't like, oh, that's an attractive person. Richard Gere I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't grow up in the era of thinking about Richard Gere. But when you watch that movie, yeah,
I still
it
don't
works.
think about Richard Gere.
And then Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 64%, while the audience score is a 68, which still seems very low.
Yeah.
Seems very
it's
low.
Like a classic.
I know. IMDb gives it a 7.1 out of 10, which is also feels low.
I don't know.
It
I really
also,
do have to see it.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say about it is that it has an actress in it who I just love. She's like very much a character actor where like she just plays like sidekicks and like is like small roles and stuff like that. But I just love her. Laura San Giacomo. Can you see my computer screen and see her?
Oh, yeah.
Laura San Giacomo. I just like her.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
She gets good energy.
She's from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Cute.
Anyway, that's Pretty Woman, which is my number 3.
Good. Very good. It is an all-time classic.
It is a classic.
That I do need to watch.
As much as I liked it, I think I really started enjoying it when I watched the making of it.
Oh.
I don't know why. That got me really into it and being like, no, this movie actually is incredible. It's one of those things where like you see it from like how we made it, or like the behind the scenes of this, and for some reason you're like, I've always thought this movie was good, but now I'm like, now that I know all this background stuff, I'm like obsessed with this movie. It's how I feel about Jurassic Park.
Oh,
like
interesting.
Knowing how they made the T-Rex and stuff just makes me be like, now it's even better.
When yesterday my friend Amanda and I went to see Howl's Moving Castle that was playing in the theater. And when the credits were rolling at the end, the lights did not come back on and not a single person got up. And me and her were like, why is nobody getting up? Why are we not leaving? Why are the lights not going on? And we looked up like, is there an end credit scene? And like, what?
What is in my iced tea, Raven?
Is it iced tea bits? Mold.
It's
like mold.
It can't be mold.
Why not?
Raven, have I been drinking mold in my iced tea this whole episode? It's not mold. Don't say that. It's definitely not mold. That's so disgusting. It's just like coagulated iced tea mix. Please, let's just pretend like it's that and move on.
Okay.
I'm so sad.
So we couldn't figure out what was happening, and then we just got up and left. And then as we were walking out, a clip of Miyazaki and his team like making Ghibli films started to play. And we watched it for like a second, and then we left because we're not that invested. Jessica's being a bully.
She always is. And I can't tell if it's really her fault though. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like she really is just like, hey Josie, what's going on? And Josie's like, get the fuck away from me.
Okay. Are you ready for my number 2?
I'm ready for your number 2.
Okay. My number 2 is a movie called Persuasion. It is based on a Jane Austen novel of the same title. The plot is, living with her snobby family on the brink of bankruptcy, Anne Elliot is an unconforming woman with modern sensibilities. When Frederick Wentworth, the dashing one she once sent away, crashes back into her life, Anne must choose between putting the past behind her or listening to her heart when it comes to second chances.
Anne of Green Gables is freaking sick.
Anne of Green Gables is sick. It is a comedic conversion of book to movie. It's like they didn't make it like too serious.
Yeah.
And it stars Dakota Johnson as Anne Elliot, who I freaking love.
Yeah.
And it breaks the fourth wall throughout the whole movie. She is talking to the viewer.
Oh, like Fleabag?
Yes, like Fleabag.
Love that.
And I
don't know. I love it. That. Yeah.
It's so good. And her sister is, if you recall back to the first season of The Witcher, when Geralt goes to that town he goes into the bar and he's talking to the girl. Renfrey.
Yeah.
And he is looking to sell the Kikimora, the monster he just killed.
Yeah.
And then he talks to a girl.
A young girl.
A young girl.
He's like, I killed my dog.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Dakota Johnson's sister in the movie is played by that girl.
Okay.
And she's crazy. She's so funny. Like, there's a lot of scenes where Dakota Johnson is like, this is my sister. She is very dramatic. She's going to tell me all about how her husband won't take her seriously and she is very sick and ill and I need to live with her forever. And then she stops and it immediately cuts to the sister going, my husband is mean to me. I'm very sick and ill and you need to come live with me forever. And then Dakota Johnson will look back at the screen like, I told you. And it's like that kind of comedy and it's so cute. And it's really all just about like her and this Wentworth person having a second chance at love. Oh. And because they were like in love, but his like status wasn't enough for her family or whatever. So she couldn't be with him. But then he like moved up the ranks or something in the military and they met down the line. And it's like cute and there's so many funny parts. There's a part where she gets drunk and she's like looking through her bedroom window up to the house across the way where he is there like at a dinner party and the window's open at that place and she just screams his name out the window and then collapses.
Whoa. Raven just had a friggin'
collapses onto the ground. My brain was like, collapse. She claps. Claps? I was like, what the fuck is the word?
She claps.
Onto the ground. And is like hiding and she's just like going crazy. And then they get together at the end. Spoilers. And it's so sweet. It's so good. I'll probably watch that movie. I'll probably watch it tonight because it's just, I put it on in the background and it's so cute and I just peek over at good parts. And I loved it because sometimes very recent rom-coms that come out, I have high expectations and a lot of them don't meet my expectations. Then I'm kind of like, oh, that wasn't very good.
I also found that most of mine were older.
Yeah. But this one really blew me away.
I think 2009 is my newest one.
Yeah. Like, I really loved it. It was 11 out of 10. I really love anything that Dakota Johnson is in.
Yeah.
A movie that she's in called How to Be Single almost made this list. But I haven't watched it in a long time. So it didn't make the cut. But it's also incredible.
Dope.
Yeah. That's my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is a movie that I also haven't seen in a very long time. It is also a movie that partially makes my list because of the vibes similar to Leap Year, where it's like in a beautiful setting and the movie sticks in my brain so much because of how much it makes me want to like visit this place and have this like romanticized idea of like love and just like a vacation. Because it's about two people who are on vacation and like the things that happen.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No, it's not. My number 2 is from 2008. It is Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No, but I remember when you saw this movie, and I feel like at the time it became a big part of your personality.
Yeah.
And now, whenever I hear about it or see it, mentioned anywhere, I immediately think of you.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
So, okay, synopsis.
I know ScarJo's in it.
She sure is.
Yeah.
Americans Vicky, played by Rebecca Hall, and Christina, played by Scarlett Johansson, arrive in Spain for a summer vacation at a friend's, Patricia Clarkson, a friend's Barcelona home. Visiting an art gallery, they meet seductive painter Juan Antonio, played by Javier Bardem, who invites them for a weekend of food, art, and making love. Sparks really fly when his fiery former lover, Penelope Cruz, arrives on the scene, making for a very crowded house.
I've seen the scene where they're like at dinner or they're at our table or something, and Penelope Cruz is like being rude in Spanish.
Yeah,
and
there's a couple scenes. I mean,
yeah,
she does it perfectly.
Yeah,
because like she has an air of just being like so artistic that it just comes across as being like a bitch.
Yeah,
like you're just like, there's a part of me that's like, this is what real artists are like.
Yeah,
which is not true necessarily, but like for some reason I just remember being like, I'm okay.
It's the
she
vibe
would
of like,
make me cry, but also I'm obsessed with her.
It's the vibe of like the mean girl clique at an art school of seniors.
Yeah.
Who like they're like smoking cigarettes outside on the roof.
Yeah.
And you go up there for the light and they're like,
and like you drop something and like her boyfriend picks it up just like casually and is like, oh, hey, Becca, you dropped this, and just like picks it up, and then she eyes you from the corner and pulls out a switchblade and is like, I will fucking gut you if you talk to him ever again.